people and to come to him first, because sometimes you just need to cry. You just need to cry and go to sleep. That's it. Elijah, when he told God, like, he was tired, he did not want, like, he was so tired. What did, huh? Yeah, God told him, God told him, go sleep. Go sleep. You just need a nap. But as a Christian, it's really important to meditate your word. Find some passages. Again, I Google because I haven't read the whole Bible yet. So I don't know everything that's in the Bible. So I have to like research, what does the Bible say about this? And then I try to meditate that word and try to really understand what is God trying to tell me through this story? That's what I would say.
What I can add on that, on how to understand with like African parent and all of that, it took me a minute to explain my parent why I chose the path that I chose. Cause first, I wanted to be a surgeon, like doctor, like do big things. But then whenever I changed my major, they're like, "Oh, we don't believe in mental health. You gotta pray about it." But now, whenever I talk about mental health around my parent, they understand that it's actually something real, and they'll be like, "Oh, growing up we're like this," and there's a lot of PTSD from back in the days. But then I don't know, just have the right way to explain them, because I know for them they want proof. You have to explain them exactly this, and you can't just tell them, "Oh, depression is real." They'll be like, "Oh, go pray about it," or like, "Go to sleep, you'll be good." But like Sister Naomi said, sometimes you actually do need to sleep or cry. But it's probably gonna take a minute for them to believe in mental health. But I know they're getting there. I don't know if I answer your question.
Uh, no.
Like in a sense, right? Say the parent generation were not given therapists. They had to go with obviously it could be venting to other people or um, doing drugs. I don't know, drinking and this, that, and the third. But now it's how they proceed to carry it down to the generations under them. I feel like in a sense, what you kind of did answer is just the matter of explaining to them. There's also parents who are not willing to listen to their kids, not taking it serious. Does that make sense?
Health, but I think I can add to, I'm not speaking on mental health, but I think I can add to that. Um, I think one of the things that us kids need to do sometimes is also show our parents grace, because we have to understand that did not grow up in an era where mental health there was no mental health awareness, so they didn't even know what it meant, and they themselves are going through a lot of mental problems that I don't even know, right? So as we're getting the knowledge, we also have to understand the position, give them grace, but also not just speak. Just like you said, some parents you speak to them, you talk to them, but they won't listen. They won't. It's not that they're not listening; they are not understanding because they don't know. And sometimes they want to stay stuck in their ways. But one thing that I know works is, instead of, okay, you can talk to them, you can speak about it, but you gotta show them, you know you gotta show them how it needs to be done. And I know this for a fact because my late mother, she was really like, she would be stuck in her ways. But as we were growing up and we were showing her, you know that's not, we're not just gonna tell her, no, you don't do that, you don't say that. It's, we show her by our actions, and she changed. She were more flexible, more open, because we showed her. It's just they don't have the exposure, they just need to be exposed to it. And as kids, you should not expect them to just get to where you want them to be in a heartbeat. It's a process. They've been like that for 40 years. They've not seen anything else around them than that. That's what they know.
Do we have any more questions? We have about 2 minutes to move on to the next topic. No? I can add one or two things to that.
How do y'all feel about, I guess, like, are you, like, how do you feel about Christian therapists compared to, like, regular therapists? in a sense, like, and what would you recommend? Because I know some people like have told me they went to Christian therapists and they were like, I feel like it was overwhelming because it was like they didn't talk about more of the mental health aspect. They just kept talking about the Christ aspect, and it's like, how do you? I guess when you maneuver in that realm, like, should you pick a Christian therapist or a regular therapist?
Uh, no, so I am Christian, but there is a difference between a therapist and a Christian therapist. I didn't do Christian-centered therapist because I've learned that the difference with that, you're not gonna be able to talk about any other thing. It's just gonna be all Christian, this and this. So I picked the other one. So with the other one, what usually happens when my client brings up that they're Christian, oh, then I'm like, okay, then I'm allowed to talk about like all my faith and all of that, but then I just can't bring it up. So I'll say it's not bad to get Christian therapist, but but I'll say I don't really recommend getting a person who focused on Christian therapist, like therapy. Get a therapist who's Christian, but what they do, it's not just Christian based. Because you can use the Christian base, but you also need the other aspect to be able to like balance both. Because I feel like we usually, most of the time, we neglect mental health because we're just like, oh, esprit ma be, or like mauvais esprit and all of that. But we're forgetting the same, like I said in the beginning, the same way we take care of our body, we gotta take care of our mind because it's also important. So sometimes I've had people who had like Christian-based therapists, and it worked great. All they needed was just to talk about Christianism and all of that. But I'm on the other side. I'm still a Christian, but I didn't focus mainly on that. I don't know if that makes sense.
Awesome, awesome. Man, I have so many questions, but we gotta move on. Anybody got a question? No? All right, can we clap for them for the first part? That was amazing. If I were to ask a question before we move on, you said the same way you take care of your body, that's the same way you should take care of your mind. How do you do that? You got 30 seconds.
Well, I did take 30 minutes. Okay.
We don't got that time.
Okay, when I say that we eat healthy, we take medication whenever the doctor tells us we have high blood pressure, we have a headache, we have all this. We do that. But whenever it comes to the mind and they tell you to take like Xanax, Zoloft, like those medication for mental health, you're like, no, because they have strong side effects. So besides all the meds, the same way we go to the gym, I'll say, like, get enough sleep. Because sleep also affects your mental health. You can't say that, oh, I sleep for 2 hours and I function for the 24 hours. Yeah, at least, myself, at least, I get 7 to 8. 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Because it's really important. A lot of stuff that we encounter with during the day, it's all in the mind. So it's like if you didn't get enough rest, then I don't know how your day's gonna go. Sleep is important for your mental health. And also, don't overdo things as much as you have work. How do you call it? Self-care. Do something you love. Because you can work 24/7, but if you don't take care of yourself too, you can actually like fall into that path of being anxious. I don't do anything for myself, or just abandon those stuff you used to do. Then that's when depression comes. So.
Awesome, awesome. I love it. You got 1 second.
Yeah, and the self-care, if you don't have any hobbies, you should research some
Find
hobbies.
one.
Yeah, find one. Because I found myself lost. I didn't do anything, and that's why I was bored and in my head. So finding a good hobby, and you can just research one. Knitting, I don't know, you can start coding. I started coding. So that was something I started because it makes my mind work. Or reading. Reading is good too. Fictional books or non-fictional.
And it's good to put emphasis on the fact that we need to like research like good hobbies because I there are a plethora of hobbies, and then if you don't know what to pick, then you might just end up like damaging, putting more damage on your mental health. Do you get me? So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, why he said we all laughed, but it's real. Beside being a mental health, I'm also a substance use counselor. So I have like clients who like go to like, I'm just gonna smoke weed, use meth, cocaine, as a hobby. It's not, because that also it's gonna affect, and that's how we end up having a lot of people who are like dual diagnosis because they just rely on substance instead of finding an actual hobby. So yeah.
Looks like mental health is really, taking our time. So we'll give you like 5 more minutes. Is that okay? Oh, y'all don't seem excited. God, we can change it. Okay, yeah, okay. All right. So we're going to higher ed. Higher eds. What is
Yeah.
what does that look like? And give it like a little breakdown. You got 1 minute 30 seconds per person, and then we'll go to questions after.
I mean, it is a little hard because breaking down higher education. Okay. Well, I guess I can speak on it because I'm only one degree from getting all the degrees. But because I have an associate, I have a bachelor, I have a master, right? Um, it is hard. What can I say? I think it's more like I can talk about my journey. Initially, I wanted to become a medical doctor. So I came here to the state to further my education. I started college when I was 19. I had to learn English for a year and then started college when I got to the US. I did my associate in biology because, I was pre-med, went to my bachelor's in chemistry, and really by God's grace, I was a student. I got a 4.0 GPA. Um, all through college, I think I only got one B, and I remember I was about to cry, but it was a one credit class. I was like, I'm retaking the class. But now that I think about it, never. But after that, the pandemic hit. I mean, I took one semester off first, and then the pandemic. And when I graduated with my chemistry degree, I worked for a year as a research fellow. So I was wondering what I wanted to do. I was like, okay, I know I've always wanted to be a medical doctor, but now I'm like, it's 5 years, 4 years of medical school. Then I have to go. I'm like, I don't think I want to do that. I want to be balanced. I don't want to be called during the night when I'm sleeping. I want to have my family. I want to stay with my family and stuff. So what can I do? And for the longest time, coming from an African background, really is like you're an engineer, you're a medical doctor, you're a lawyer. It's never about a sociologist or stuff like that. So I was like, what can I do? Um, I thank God because I was able to have a community around me of people that had different backgrounds, academic backgrounds, and one of which is my brother-in-law. He was doing his healthcare administration degree at the time. He was working for a health system. So we started talking, and I was just learning more about what he was doing. And I realized, okay, if I cannot be on the clinical side of healthcare, I can do the administrative side. But mind you, at that time, I've never even taken one business class ever. I was a STEM, girl since high school. So I decided, I prayed about it before. I mean, I had so many options. I prayed. about it. I was like, God, I don't want to go for my PhD in chemistry, because chemistry, if you want to work in it, you got to get a PhD to make money. So I was like, I don't want to do a PhD because I don't even know what I want to do. Chemistry was never the plan, right? It was medical school. So I had to pray. Even when I was during my bachelor, I was praying. I was like, God, medical school is so expensive. I will pray. God will give me words in the Bible. I will open my Bible. He gave me Matthew 6, where he said to not worry about anything, that he will provide. I was like, okay, God is going to provide for medical school. That's what I wanted to do, medical school. And he gave me, my dad always said, because he paid for my education, he always tell everybody, was like, she cost me the least amount of money, because I leave favor, during my education journey. I would get full tuition waivers. It was God. Like I would get scholarships. I would get this. I would get that. So when I was done, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for my healthcare journey. I applied. I didn't know anything about healthcare administration at the time. So I was learning as I was going, taking my classes, learning, and God favored me too when I was going for my master's. It was expensive, but God gave me a full tuition waiver as well. So I wasn't paying tuition at all. I was paying like $600 per semester because I only needed to pay the fees, right? Why? Because I prayed. It's not just like, oh, this is what I wanted to do. This is my passion. God, this is what, it's okay. This is my passion. This is what I want to do. But how do I do it? I wanted to work in healthcare, but now I'm not working the clinical side. I'm still in healthcare, right? But God guided my steps. I prayed about it. I apply. I only apply to one schools. I don't apply to two. There is no plan B. I only a plan A with God. I apply and I get accepted, right? So I applied, I got accepted. They gave me a full tuition waiver, and they will give you 5 terms. So when I started, I was in a cohort. Then I learned during my program that, oh, you can do an MBA, MHA, have a double master by the time you're done. So by that time, I already had 2 semesters. I've taken 2 semesters. I had 3 more left. But if I switch, I have to add more, I'll have more semester to go. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to switch. I emailed someone. I was like, will my tuition waiver transfer to the new program? It was like, yes, it will transfer. When I switched, they tell me, the assistant dean tells me, oh, it does not transfer. I was like, I sent her the email. I'm like, he told me it transfers. So she was like, just because he said that, okay. And I ended up, by the end of my program, I had more than 7 terms that they were covering. And for me, it's really God's, right? I know I'm talking about higher education, but I'm also integrating God because we need him to guide our steps. It can be overwhelming. It can really be overwhelming because at some point in my program, I was like, I'm learning all those new things. So I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do with this degree? And they're talking about a fellowship. Like we do fellowships just like doctors, and it's very competitive, right? Like everybody's gonna apply to the same positions. Health system will have 5,000 applications. How do you distinguish yourself? So it was just God. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But I had a community around me. I would go to my mentors. I had academic mentors, I had my friends that were going in the same direction. I had my brother-in-law that was in that. So it's like the people I surrounded myself with when I needed to ask questions. I'm like, oh, what do? I told him about the fellowship. It was like, he told me. He was the one who told me about the fellowship. I was like, what is that? I researched. I'm like, oh my God, am I going to make it? Why? Because I was looking at I'm like, okay, look, I'm going to look at my profile. I'm African. I have an accent. I'm black. I'm a woman. So it was like, you are in a disadvantage at all levels, right? But I was like, you know what, God? You're going to make a way. I've never worked in healthcare before. I only have research experience. I prayed about it. I got an internship. I went to Maine. I think last year. And I was like, okay, this is a first step. But when I did my internship, they don't have fellowships. Usually, what people do, you do your internship, where you wanna work, you wanna apply for your fellowship, so that they will know you. You know, when you come back, they'll be like, oh, she worked here. So I prayed. They did not have it. I was like, oh, no problem. I came back. I only, oh, sorry. But okay, 30 seconds. So I
Hey, I'll
came
be
back.
saying that a lot.
Okay, I came back, and it was time to apply for fellowship. I applied to so many, and I was getting rejection. I was like, oh my God, am I smart? Am I worthy? But God came through last minute. And I applied to a fellowship. I interviewed all the rounds, 3 rounds. I went on site. I did my interview with the C-suite and everybody. And I was just praying about it. And one time they called me. They were like, you know what? And then I did this prayer. I was like, God, even if they already chose someone else, that person will get the offer from his first choice so that I can get this. When I went to that interview, I went and prayed and put my feet. I was like, la parole de Dieu dit partout, la plante de tes pieds, je te le donne en pose. I took possession of those buildings, right? So I prayed. And they called me, they were like, you know what? Out of 100 people, you came on top, right? So it was like, there are so many opportunity out there. For you to seize the right one, you need God to guide you towards them.
Yeah. All right. Before we begin with the questions, raise your hand if you're still in high school. I'm the MC. Okay. Raise your hand if you're doing your bachelor's. Raise your hand if you're doing your master's. With her in the back. All right. Who's thinking about doing a PhD? All right. Okay. Now we can take questions. Who has the first question?
So, when it came to you choosing your path in the healthcare field, said you were in like management, and then said you were in clinical, then management.
No, I wanted to do clinical,
hmm
but I did management instead.
So yeah, when it comes to those decision making, like I was kind of in the same place when it came to that, and having like worry, like how did you handle the pressure, especially in the workplace of a place that you were in, like your internships? How did you handle that pressure?
I mean, for my internship, really, when I started, I felt like, oh my God, I don't know anything, right? From what they teach us in school and what we have to do, I'm just like, this is so different. But I mean, I'm just talking about the internship perspective. You are there to learn. And for any job, really, when you start, the first year really is you learning how to do the job. They won't assess you they won't be hard on you because they know you're newly grad and you have academic knowledge, maybe not the professional knowledge, so they're not gonna assess you the same. But just a, a way to manage the pressure, I think, is just tell yourself that you should give yourself grace. First of all, you have the knowledge, the academic knowledge, but you just need to get the hands-on experience, and you need to be open to learning and asking questions. One thing I struggle with is asking questions and like letting people think that I don't know. I don't like that. I want to know everything. But I had to come to the, conclusion that I don't know this. I have to ask questions. I've never done this. So it's just asking questions, being open and flexible.
Thank you. Do you have anything to add?
Hmm. Not right
Before we move on, what degree do you have?
now. Oh, I was wondering. Okay, so my master's, but then I'm working my PhD.
Okay, look at that. Awesome.
Okay, so I was thinking like how did you guys feel when it came to your process in school? Like the feelings of quotation being delayed, that comparison of like your peers and everyone, like, how did you guys navigate that in y'all process? Because everyone has.
I like that question because I think I felt like that going to college. I was like Sister Anise. She said she only applied to one school. I applied to one school, went there, no plan B. But while I was in school, you are like around people who seems like they know everything. And I was just like, sometimes not ask any question, just sit in the back, be like, I know this, but I don't. I'm feeling like, what's the word? Complex. Like, I don't know, how do I explain that? Insecure. Yes, that's the word. I felt so insecure because I was like, am I in the right place? Am I doing the right thing? I had one teacher who told me, you pay the amount, you pay the money they did. So it's like, don't feel any lesser, better than them. Y'all the same way or probably more. That word stuck with me to this day. And I started like speaking more without like, I'll still have like time of insecurity and navigate school, especially in the period of uncertainty when I didn't know if I wanted to do the biology or like psychology, the physical or the mental. So yeah. So I don't know, pray about it. Prayer was always like in there. I know sometimes I forgot to pray, but I'll always pray about it, and God will send you the right people to show you the right direction.
I wanted to add to that because I experienced that as well. But it was mostly when I was, when you're in school, you're looking for internships, you're looking for all those opportunities. And when you go on LinkedIn, it's everybody getting the internships. It's, hey, I wanted to announce that, hey, I'm like, why are you getting those?
It's real. It's real.
I'm applying, but I'm not, I'm not getting it. And especially when because I wanted to be a medical doctor and I was looking for shadowing opportunities, internships or stuff like that. I will go and I will see one of my high school classmates. When you go on her LinkedIn, all the things that she listed that she did, I'm like, God, am I worth it? Am I gonna get it? Because this is no. But I've came to realize that we all have our own path.
That's good.
You should not pressure yourself. Where God wanna put you is different, and we're gonna all get there differently. I remember, I'm just gonna say this. I remember I wanted in grad school. There was this I had a Nigerian friend. Because of, she told me she did this internship at this place, I wanted to apply that. At some point, I realized that I was trying to copy and paste her journey. I applied to the same place she did her internship, didn't get it. I applied to the same place she did her fellowship, didn't get it. But I realized that's not my journey. That's not my testimony. I have my own. I'm not gonna do what they're doing. I might not have the same opportunity, but God has something for me. I'm not gonna say better, because we all have our better. That was better for them, and the things that I get are better for me. So do not stress yourself and compare yourself with your peers. We get to where we're going at our own pace and with your own path.
That's what I would say. I like what she said about copy and paste. Sometimes you can paste and it works. Like you can apply to the internship and you get there, but then the both of you are working there. She's getting more opportunity than you. Then you say like, oh, why am I not getting the same thing? And that's how jealousy comes. So just don't rush your path trying to follow somebody else.
Nice. I'm also part of higher ed, so I'm gonna do a little introduction. The name is Sway. Um, Currently doing my master's in healthcare administration, but my main goal is to become a dentist. Uh, I said in my testimony yesterday. I also have an degree in, you know, applied sciences and a bachelor's degree in health sciences, and I'm doing right. So the reason why I'm doing my master's in healthcare administration, because when I'm done with dental school, open my practices. So that's why. So one of the things that I can mention is even though I'm in administration, but every time I do anything, I like to kind of tailor it to the field that I'm going into, which is dentistry, right? So even when I'm applying for internship, I'm applying for anything, anything I talk about in class related to the topic, I always gear it towards what my interest is. Just like they say, you don't want to copy and paste. You don't want to always focus in the lane that everybody else is going. Wherever your interest is, follow that path. And I also mentioned yesterday that I graduated 2018, but I got my bachelor's degree in 2022. Like they say, everybody has a different path, and there are different things that can affect, you know, to whether in school or in life, whatever that may look like. And that is why we are talking about it as Christians. We are talking about it from that perspective. As she mentioned, everything she did, she made sure that she prayed about it. She made sure that she brought it to God. I mentioned yesterday that in that span of time, one of the things that I had a hard time with because of what I was struggling with was indecision, right? So you can have other things going on in life that will lead to you not being so sure about what you want to do or what God wants you to do. We have a spiritual calling, and we also have a calling as people on earth in society, right? So what does God want you to do as far as working in maybe politics, working in maybe healthcare, working in maybe, sociology or whatever the case may be. So that was a little bit of addition to that. Can we welcome Mama Tabita?
Hello. I'm not preaching. You're too serious when you say Mama Tabit. I'm not preaching. I'm not preaching. I'm here for workshop session for a reason. That's why I'm dressing this way. So it's not church time at the moment. We're speaking about business and money. Okay? How many of you want to make money?
Sure, we all want to make money.
All right.
So
So let's do it this way.
I guess that our session with higher ed is now concluding because we're gearing
Oh.
towards business and that, right?
Okay, I will introduce
Okay.
myself then and
So, yeah.
wait for the conclusion of the first session. Okay? I don't think should I introduce myself? Right
Yeah,
now?
go ahead.
My name is Tabita. Peter is my husband's name. Other than being a servant of God, I am an engineer in telecommunication and networking. I am the founder of Tabita Holding. And Tabita Holding as of now, I have two businesses. One is in T-Solar, which is T-Solar, I mean Tabita Solar System. And T-Tech is Tabita Technology. Those are the two companies I have at the moment. And I also do philanthropy, which is kind of humanitarian, but mainly focused on youth.
Wow, that's amazing. She got two businesses. Who wants to own a business? Awesome, awesome. All right, so we just concluded with the higher ed, so we'll move on to the business and the entrepreneurship. And so I would like you guys to see a little bit. We don't have much time. We have like what, 10 to 15 minutes? 20 minutes? Okay. And then talk about it a little bit. What is entrepreneurship? What is business? What is financial, I don't know, literacy, whatever that looks like. Broach that topic a little bit.
So I will take it in the Bible's yeah. All right. Thank you. So when you go to Genesis chapter 1, the Bible says, the beginning, the world was empty, isn't it? They say it was void, and God created. Okay? If I ask all of you, what are your motivations of going to school, having master's degrees and PhDs, whatever degree you want to have? What are you trying to achieve by doing all those big schools? Yeah, making money, getting good job, okay? Everyone say I want to have more degree because I want to have a good job. Yeah, so that's how I used to be. I used to think as well. I want to study, and I wanted to have all those big diplomas because I needed a good job. Along the line, I found out that was not really what I should have focused on. Okay? So I will talk about myself a little bit, how I get into entrepreneurship. All right, so it started when I was at the age of 21. I was invited in one of the conferences by the International Organization of French-speaking people, and I met other youth. And right in those meetings, I started feeling my calling of being an entrepreneur. But I was afraid how to start. I needed money. I needed to work, be a professional person. And instead of building my own company, I started motivating other youth to build theirs. And some of them were trusting me, and I will help them really build. They will start and they really develop. But my own, I was so afraid. Until 2016, I was still in Congo, but I was coming America, travel the world. And then I feel that strong conviction to start. So one, if you think money, you want to make money, you must start. That's the first thing. Is to start, okay? Don't wait to have $1 million for you to start a business or a company, okay? So first is put those ideas you have, the conviction you have in your heart as a Christian, pray. If you're still feeling the same conviction, start. I started.
Why are you doing her like that? We will give her 2 more minutes.
I started by identifying the need in the community where I was. And since I'm in IT, so in bracket IT, but I'm not really IT because I'm more than an IT. So I identified the need in my community and I chose to resolve it. And one of the biggest needs was the security in the region. Eastern Congo, there is a big security concern. And they were organizations that were sending their, if you follow the news, you will hear some type of crime happening in Eastern Congo. So the first idea came in my mind, how can you secure the asset of international organizations using IT tools? So I built an application, bought the devices, implemented it, and started doing what they call the car tracking system and human tracking technology in place. It's an intelligence service. So I could tell where this person or this car is, and if something happens, if the person is outside of, we call it geofencing. So if it's away from the area we're supposed to be, I could have stopped the car. If first we will call the person, try to find out where are you? You are nowhere supposed to be. And if you say I'm in danger, we will mobilize the car and send the police to go rescue them. So after starting, I started building, okay? That was the first stage, was to start. You cannot start a business with a lot of money. I did not have enough. I had idea, put them in paper, and I started building marketing, expanding a little bit, finding more other people who were interested in what I was doing. Then I keep on growing, and other interests came in. So one more thing I will point is, you may ask me, where was your office located? How many staff did you have, or you had? I did not have staffs. I only had 2 temporary agents who were working for me. And my office or my work was online. I was build an office online, everything online. First stage, start small, okay? And as I keep on growing, God started opening doors for me. So I migrated to US. I paused the business because I needed first to be established in US. I need to find a job. I started finding a job, reach a lot of biggest positions, not biggest, some high positions in the country, in some companies here. So I was working for another businesses, but inside of me, I was still feeling this. You're working for other people, but yours is entrepreneurship. You need to focus on your own business. You need to focus on your own company, building it. Yeah, even US, I took the risk, and I opened T-Tech in US, and I started growing it up. So one thing I put in my company is Bible principles, okay? I don't work initially to make money. I work to impact lives, okay? And I try my best to be honest, transparent, and follow the Bible principles. If I'm not convinced to work with you, even if you bring millions, I will not. If I have needs, I go to my knees and pray God. He always sends people. So after building, and I started working slowly, finding my first customers were friends, companies. So those are the first. So you can only work first with this circle of people knows you, they trust you. Those were my first customers. So I think a year ago, before even a year, back 2020, I started receiving some, if you're on LinkedIn, you have business profile on LinkedIn, you have those people they call angel investors. They'll start trying to find you, ask you about your business ideas, try to understand what you're doing, see if they can put their money in your business and gain some interest. So some angel investors came to me, but they came with a lot of conditions. And they don't know you physically. And miraculously, I was at my workplace. God sent a physical angel investor to me. He came and he says, your business is in this level, I want to make it big. I was afraid because I did not know the person. So you cannot just engage in business and taking people's money. So keep in mind, my mentor in business when I started told me, never take a finance from people. If you have big ideas, do not go take credit to start it. Don't go find fundings or someone give you money to start your business. You will never have peace of mind. You will work 24/7, and mostly you're going to put money in that person's pocket rather than yourself. So I was afraid because of that. I said, I was told at early stage I should not take anybody money. So the person keep on kind of pushing me. He said, I won't invest in your business. You must think big and bigger. Up to a point, God, really, I started saying, God, is this your way? Do you want me to work with this person? And I got confirmation. First was his faith. I found out he was a Christian like me. He was a believer. So I understood God put him on my side to really shape or support what I was doing. And after how did I say, after confirming his Christian or his spiritual identity, then I get engaged, and now we're moving forward. I want to add one more thing. So as a JCC leader, I try to put business mindset to my trainees. I put it on their hand, on their brain. If you see the JCC Atlanta, they're wearing a T-shirt that says, "Here I am." Those T-shirts were designed by one of my JCC, Acacia. I give it. We were in a strong teaching class, and we were praying January. I taught them, are you wearing the "Here I am"? Come front, please. So we were praying after 40 days of prayer, beginning of the year. Then God talked to us. He gave us a verse. We start praying, and we identify our JCC, our identity in Atlanta. They went out. They start thinking, and Acacia got the revelation, and she designed this T-shirt. She printed them, and she sold them to all of us. We are buying it to support her because it's a business mindset that she already embraced, and it's really something positive. So I wanted to show it. If you need to support Acacia business, we have some of the T-shirt that you can get from her and take it home as an example.
Nice.
Thank you.
Wow. Amazing. All right. Oh, go ahead. You got 2 minutes.
That's too short.
Unless you want to start with the question and you include whatever you want to say into them.
No, you want to go for questions for her before, because it's a little slightly different what I'm about to say. I don't know if you want to do questions for my mom before I introduce what I have to say.
Okay.
Do questions for my mom first?
Sure. Why not? All right. I see you. Huh? Okay. I see you have many questions. You want to start us off? It's only 2. I mean, it's 2 questions.
My first question is, what advice do you have for students that are balancing school work and just personal life and extracurriculars activities? This is probably more for a college student, or it still can apply to her too. But my other question was for her.
So in America, we have really different reality. If you were in Africa, I would say focus on your school, then you go to work. But in America, there are a lot of needs that require you to balance the two. So there is no choice. Then first is focus to finish your school, your studies. If you can, take less work hours so you have enough time to study and finish. Once you're done with your studies, then you can take as many work you want or create your own business. Why? Because as Christian, if you're working for someone else, at some point you may not have enough time to pray and to do whatever you want to do for God. If I have to travel, today I can travel anywhere, anytime, because I manage my time. So I think your question was like how to balance like everything while being in school. Um, Being in my major is hard because architecture is time consuming. So I also work on campus, but what I would say is campus, like the school is very understandable, knowing like how to help you balance. Like if you have school, like they make it possible for you to have time and still go out and like do your personal things. But also as being Christian, you have to have that mindset like, do you have time for God? Because you don't just want like school and work just to like, be overwhelming. You need to be like manageable. You need to have balance. So what I would say is just like being in my major is really hard, but at the same time, it's all like in the mind. You need to make it work. Make plans, like have a calendar, write down what you have to do. Like, don't get sidetracked because getting sidetracked might get hard, but it's like write down what you're gonna do for the day. It really helps. Like I've started doing that, so and right now I can say like it's working. So what I would just say is write down what you're doing throughout the day. Don't get distracted, don't get sidetracked because it really messes up with your mind.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something to piggy off of what she said, piggyback of what she said. I mean, especially if you're in school, college, you need good time management. I know a lot of college students also have full-time jobs, so you really have to manage your school schedule as well because usually your work schedule is kind of set for some people. So whenever you're taking your classes, you need to know that this if I take an 8 a.m. class for 4 months, I'll be able to go through with that and not at some point in the middle of the semester withdraw or. So it's just about planning ahead, having good time management, and what you have to keep in mind that time, that moment is temporary. What you're doing at that, it's temporary. So you gotta sacrifice a lot for that temporary moment.
What's your second question?
My second question is, what advice would you give to students who aren't like really sure what business path to choose yet, just because like business management is like really broad and like it's a lot of things to choose from? How did you guys choose like what you wanted to do with your degree?
Time for me?
I said, because I'm a business management student, and I said business is like really broad and open to a lot of different things you could do. I said, how did you choose like what you wanted to do with it?
Yeah, so business management. It's so in my understanding, you are gaining skills to manage all the type of businesses. So I would say if you focus on one that you like the most, like let's say real estate, for example. You say, I want to really be able to really go in the real estate area. First of most is to identify. You identify what your passion is. If you have passion on everything, it's gonna be difficult for you to really manage. So I don't like me. I know I'm a technical. You can tell me go and do accounting. I said that's not me. Even if I like doing business. So it's first identify which area you want to really focus on, and also see the market opportunity. Like right now, it's AI. If I have to advise every JCC, I would say you can go in AI and we can break it down in details when we have time.
What I would say, since you're in school, you're doing your bachelor's, right? One of the greatest things you can do is get internships. because it will help you know what the day to day will be, and if you even like that, you know, like, are you gonna like doing that every day? So internships are very important because you are getting paid to learn, and you're getting paid to kind of understand if this is for you or not. So look for internships. Just like she said, you can identify those courses that you like and find internships in those areas depending on how long you have in school. Every semester you can do an internship, or every summer you can do internship in different areas so that you can discover what you like. And maybe at the end of your bachelor, it's not even business management yet you're gonna do. Maybe you're going back to school for something else for your master's.
Sorry, I want to just give an opportunity. Since you speak about internship, if you're interested in internship for all of you, if you dream, because we're preaching people, you're going to go to the White House, you're going to become XYZ. Recently, God put in on my way some, opportunities for you, right? Anyone who need internship with government, I want to work in the White House at the moment. It's going to start in summertime. Please reach out to me. I can set a path for you to work in White House as an intern. But you must be graduate to do that.
Oh, one thing I just wanted to add is you say you're doing business management. Do you enjoy doing that?
Yes, I do. Oh, sorry. I do. It's just like I just have other interests too. I know I want my business degree and I know I want my master's too, but I just didn't really know like what exactly I wanted to do after I got my bachelor's.
So, yeah, I went through the same thing, knowing if I'm gonna like doing that or I'm gonna like this. Because with psychology, there's clinical counseling and then the school psych. I had class for all of them, but I found myself more like counseling than clinical, and I enjoy it more. So that's why I asked you. It, it's all in the mind. If you like doing that, and like she said, is that gonna be your everyday life, 8 to 5, or 8 to 8, or something like that? And if it's a yes, then you're in the right path. But whenever you're still like having, am I gonna love this? Not that you're not gonna wanna do that, but you probably need to take another class to do that. Because watching made me change my major to from biology to psychology was just one class. I took intro psychology, and that was it. I was like, this is what I want to do instead of biology. So if you love doing that, then you don't even have to stress yourself about all of that.
Moving right along. You got a question?
My question is, how do you not get discouraged? Because, like, I'm doing a computer science or computer engineering major, right? But everywhere you go is like, your job's going to get taken. You're going to graduate and have no money. How do you, like, and then our president is just going down the list and being like, this is not professional. This is not professional. Just how do you sit down and be like, okay, I'm going to keep going, even if I make $0 out of this, or even if I waste like 4 years of my life? How do I choose a major that makes me financially stable?
Can I answer to that question? Don't choose a major that makes you financially stable. Choose a major that you are able to do, which aligns with your passion or your calling. Okay? I know being a physician can give you a lot of money, or going to what else? For example, doing like cryptography or your crypto gives you a lot of money, but you can never teach me, say, go doing the financing or accounting, or go and learn to do crypto for you to get a lot of money, because that's not what God put in my heart. You need to first know yourself. Who do you want to become in life? That first thing. In my case, I wanted to be a medical doctor. And my mom asked me to go to hospital and talk to physicians. I went and spoke to the physicians. Not only speaking to them, I also see some sick people at the hospital. I saw blood. And that day I discovered, no, I cannot do this. I cannot stand blood. That's why I said, okay, next to be a medical doctor, actually I can go to engineering, because even there I'm also fixing issues. If I don't fix human being, I'm fixing computers.
Oh, something else I wanted to add. The reason you do what you do is not necessarily for money, just like she said, but is how you adding impact, the value you're providing to other people. What is the reason you want to do computer science? How is it helping others? I stayed in healthcare because I wanted to help people. I want to help sick people. But it's okay, I'm not treating the bodies, but I'm implementing processes so that they can go faster into the system. They can, they come, and it's a seamless process for them the moment they get into our health system to when they are discharged. How do we help them pay for their care, right? Access care faster, something. So it's like, why are you going into computer science? Because it's gonna be difficult. It's the job market is hard. So it's like, why am I going into this? Is it just because I want to make money? Because you can make money in many ways. There are so many ways for you to make money. You don't have to do computer science, but you gotta know your why. That's why they always tell us, you need to know your why. When you discover your why, you will see that everything will be easy, and you can be flexible and just change. You would change things around or make other decisions to get to that same, destination of, this is my why. So everything that will lead me to my why, I'm going to do it. So you just need to know your why.
All right, thank you. So we will give time to Sir Gerardine to break down a little bit of what she has for us. Go ahead.
Okay. Good afternoon again. My name is Jardine, and I'm going to share something about finance. When I mean finance, I mean like give you financial education that I didn't know about, and I was fortunate to know about. And I think we are youth, we are the future of tomorrow, and we need to know about it too. Um, the mission is to save every family, like no family left behind. What do we mean by no family left behind? Give financial education. We are fighting financial ignorance, financial miseducation of the middle class. Who is the middle class? We are the middle class. And only like 2% or 3% of America is like the wealthy, right? Have you ever asked yourself like why the rich keep getting richer and the poor stay poor? America is a capitalist country. Everything is well placed together. Some people stay in this level, some people stay in this level, no matter how hard you work. If you're not on that level, you're not gonna make it there. And sometimes we don't know how they get there. We think as middle class, we have to work 10 jobs, 20 jobs, have all the degrees. It's good to go to school, it's good to be smart, it's good to have education. But it's also good to have financial education. Because you can make all the money you make right now in your 20s, you could be earning $1 million a year. But if you don't know how to manage that money, if you don't know where to put that money, you'll retire very broke. You will end up on Social Security. So, who am I or why am I here today? As I said earlier, I'm here to give financial education to the middle class. And I don't have enough time, so I'm just going to summarize it. And whoever want to know more about it, I'll take your number if you're comfortable, and then we'll take time and talk more about it later on, even on Zoom. So I'm just going to run about it. And what does it mean? Prepare. What do you need to fight financial education. You have to prepare your life for a life, your future for a life journey. How do you prepare for a life journey? To prepare for the life journey, you need to have the right financial portfolio. You need to know the things that financial people, successful people do before they put their money anywhere. They don't just throw their money everywhere. They don't just invest their money anyhow. They know where to put their money. They know how to manage their money so that they stay in the percentage they are. So one of the points they get taken consideration before they invest their money, successful people, they want to make money and they don't want to lose money. They want to put their money where they don't pay a management fee. They want to avoid inflation, 3% inflation every year. They don't want to pay double tax. They want to have their money, they want to have flexible liquidity, like they want to get their money whenever they want to get it. They make sure they get compound interest, Social Security, and all those things. The estate, the nurse estate, and the probate court. Who knows about probate court? I know everybody here is in school, yes, but some people not doing financial education, I know. But you don't have to be in a higher education to know this. All you need is just like a short training to have all this material, to know about this, and be able to make money. As Mama said earlier, we want to make money. Everybody want to make money. But everybody don't want to go through the long process of very long education. You go to all these degrees because you're trying to make more money. But there's a way to make more money without going through all this degree. You have to get a degree, of course, but you don't have to keep repeating the degrees. You can start making money while you're going to school. It's very easy. All you need to know is to have the information, because what does the Bible say? My people, people die because of lack of ignorance or lack of information, perish because of lack of information. Some information I kept for some people in this country, but believe me, there's some information that they will not give you. They will keep it to themselves. Why? Because they need some people to be workers and they need some others to be managers. Not everybody could be a manager. If everybody is a manager, if everybody make 1 million a year, who is going to do the work? So they have to keep you on that stage until you find that information, until you find that person. So as I was saying earlier, all the things I said earlier are what successful people take in consideration before they invest their money anywhere. And we need to know those things too. We need to do the same thing in order for us to be the future of tomorrow. You start preparing tomorrow right now, when you're in your 20s, not when you're in your 40s. It's not late. You can still do it. But when you're in your 20s, I know right now most people here worry about going to school, making money. But you also need to invest your money right. Use your money right. Put your money in the right bucket, guys. And to do that, you need to have the information. And what is the information? I'm just going to briefly talk about, I don't know if anybody know about the IUL. Anybody heard about IUL, Index Universal Life? You know about it, yes. So I will talk more about it for those who want to know about, because I know they're going to start ringing the thing. But we need, as youth, as middle class, to have our money in IUL, trust and believe. When you learn about it, you will run for it. Young people don't want to listen to it because they're young, they make money, they worry about doing what they're supposed to do at their age. But this is the best time to start, because it goes by your age and your health. If you have good health, good age now, you start at a very low, but when you get to a certain age, you have a lot of compound interest in your name. Guys, trust and believe me, you have to do it. And what I want to add before I conclude, I may be missing my thoughts, because it's a lot of material. I'm trying to summarize it, guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to summarize it as much as I can. And the best way to do it is to do it, as I said, when you're younger. Don't wait when you get older. Start when you're younger, because the earlier you start, the more you invest for yourself. The best thing, does anyone here ever thought, like, why? You know this in college. You have some students that drive the most expensive car. They have in the big apartments and all of that. You think their families are rich, their parents have money. No. It's not about what their parents have. It's because from the day they were born, their parents open an IUL account for them. By the time they turn 19, college age, they have like $100,000 or more free. They don't have to go through tuition and all of that. They have money. They could buy the car. They could have the most expensive apartment. Why? Because their parents had the information that we don't have, that the middle class don't have. So I'm here to give that information. I'm here to share more about it because I was fortunate to know about it. And I want every youth present here to know about it at an earlier age. We can also share with our parents because our parents need to know about that too, to stop the 1,000 jobs and the 100 jobs. We have to reduce the GoFundMe in our community. Have you ever seen GoFundMe for a party, for a wedding? GoFundMe, Sarah. Yes. GoFundMe, go check the page. GoFundMe is for funeral. GoFundMe is for health. People are sick, critically sick, chronic sick. That's when you see GoFundMe. Why? Because people, middle class, don't set things in place for those moments. And the IUL will have that for you. When you're sick, you're diagnosed with some kind of disease, you have money in your name. You don't have to beg for money from the whole community. If you lost a loved one, there's a lot of money that's provided for them to get buried or whatever you have to do without waiting for the money that's in their bank account that's stuck. Because many in your bank account, many in your 401k, many in your Roth IRA, many in your IRA will be held by the probate court if you die. That's why people do GoFundMe. It's not that they don't have money. They have money, but they don't have access to the money because of the way the state is set up. So I'm going to stop there because it's a lot of material. I would have loved to do like a screen or something, but I'm open. I'll go around. If you want to give me your number, we could talk more about it. Or if anybody have any question they want to ask that I can answer right now before we get into more details later on. Thank you, guys.
We'll take a few questions. I know clock is ticking, and we all have to go get ready for the gala. But yeah.
What are some strategies of like discipline that a student implement in finances to start more disciplined? Like you have some sort of access to money, but you want to be serious about saving or even investing.
Again, as I said, some people put money in stocks and they can put their money in different financial buckets, yes, because your money is in the stock market, it goes up and down. You can invest, you can sleep today poor, wake up tomorrow rich, the same as you could wake up very poor. I don't discourage people to put money in stock or to have 401k. By the way, who has I know we have some few working classes, who has 401k? Roth IRA, all those investment buckets. Yes, if your company is matching it, that's a beautiful thing. And if you have a lot of money inside already, you can leave it right there. But if your company is not matching, I don't advise. If you want to do, it's always good to have a lot of financial buckets to be prepared when you get to that age. But the IUL, I encourage more bonds somehow. Your annuities are the best ones that I would advise based on my financial education. I advise people to put their money in. IUL is beautiful when you're young. It's marvelous when you're young. Put your money there. You're not going to regret it. I don't know if I answered. Yes.
Did you want to add to that, Mama Tabitha?
I don't think I captured the question.
She said there are some advices when it comes to managing your finances as a student.
Yeah, so she says that that's number one, and also based on millionaires' advice is to really spend wise, okay? And how can you spend wise is to not become, how we call those people, stingy, or you don't share, you don't give anybody anything. But it says illuminate going out with your plastic card, which is your credit card first. Make sure you don't have cash in your hands all the time, and make sure you have a list of what you need to spend for, especially when you're going to market or going to supermarket. Only take out with you what you need to do your shopping, okay? That's kind of simple, and with other than saving, other than opening a lifetime account for your health or for your financial savings and having a bank account. So whenever you go out, please keep your credit card back. Keep it at home. Don't take it out with you. Okay? That's a secret. Every millionaire will tell you the same thing. They don't. I work with a millionaire. I spend more than him. I can tell you. I spend more than him. He doesn't play with money. And sometimes I wonder, are you really that person you think you are? But yeah, he is because he has financial discipline.
Before you ask your question, Mama Miriam wanted to add something.
Just wanted to add to everything that the panelists have said about managing money, especially in college. When you're young, you have the tendency of not knowing how much you spend, right? So everything starts with a budget. To piggyback on what Mama Mira said, you cannot live your life and not know your expenses. You need to know fixed expenses and you need to know variable expenses. What I mean by fixed expenses are your phone, your rent, your water bill, your power bill. Like you need to know how much that is. And you need to understand what are the variables. The variables are like the things that you like to do. Like if you want to go out and how much would you like to spend on that, your hair, your nails, things like that. Then you need to know how much exactly you make per month and how much you spend on the things that are non-negotiables, right? If you have to pay for rent, if you have to pay for power, if you have to pay for I don't know, your car, whatever, you need to make sure that when you get your paycheck, you take that out first, right? If you have to pay for your phone, like you take that out first, and then you think about how much do I have left? Can I budget out of what I have left? Like, okay, if I only have $200 left, I need to know that I only have $200 left. Now to our sisters investing, okay, how much can I invest here? I can invest $20. Always invest, right? Because that's your future. Take $20 out, put it in investments, and then for the rest of you, you're like, okay, I want to go to restaurants. Make a budget and stick to it, okay?
Good, that's good. One thing I would add to that is make sure you start saving, especially for emergency reasons.
I think credit cards are a big, how do you say, it's a big trap for young people, and they want you to be trapped. They send you those letters because they want you to be you. They will never deny you a credit card at this age. Why? Because they want you to spend the money that you don't have, so that you won't be able to pay it back, and you'll stay in debt forever. Because paying minimum payment is not gonna get you out of debt. So do not spend the money that you don't have. Don't use your credit cards are good. You can start building your credit now, but only spend the money that you have. So if you have $100 in your bank account, you can use $100 on your credit card because you're gonna pay it back. But don't spend money that you will get in 2 weeks. That's not your money yet, right? And then you don't know what's gonna happen between now and 2 weeks. You'll have some other emergencies, and then you'll be like, oh, let me take care of this, and I'm just no. Don't spend the money you don't have, and you just like she said, you need to differentiate between the needs and the wants. Spend the money you have and live according to your means. Don't go above your means just because you want to look a certain way when you don't have the money for that. It's going to come. But now you need to live according to the money that you have.
I don't have the question, but I was going to talk about, I guess, like, because I know both y'all were talking about how you're, I guess, so negative against using credit cards. I definitely do agree with y'all here, but at the same time, y'all all know that, like I guess it's like, I'm trying to say, like, what can I say? Like, we kind of need our credit, like in America mostly, we kind of need our credit score to be up to, be able to buy a house, buy a car, buy big investments. So I was just y'all were essentially answered it because y'all were saying like, oh, don't use it, don't use it. But like at the same time, we kind of do need to use it at the end of the day. But I know you said right before everyone was talking, you said we need to use it. I guess yeah, to build everything, not to overspend or like just to be able to spend it at where we're at. So I was just saying that. And I do have one more question actually. What were you talking about? Are you saying IUL? What is that?
Index Universal Life Insurance.
Oh, so it's like life insurance.
Kind of an investment bucket, yeah.
What's the difference?
I'll talk to you after.
Oh, okay.
Difference is that one it does not it's not linked to any work that you do, right? It's first standalone. You can quit, change jobs, it's still on you. It's your own life insurance. You pay as you want, and also you have right to, I don't know if it's the same that what I do. You can withdraw money after 3 years and it still continue running and growing money as long as you have your account. Say one more time. Withdraw. When you when you withdraw, you remain, you still active. What I do, you can withdraw after 3 years. If let's say I will give numbers. If you're investing $500 every month in your account over every month, okay, after 3 years you should be able to withdraw, I think, around up to $60,000, and you continue to run and continue to go. And after 20 years, I think you should reach millions. I have the numbers on the tab one that I'm doing. I wasn't broke.
All right, since she said something, I'm just gonna summarize it for you. Index Universal Life Index. What is index? Index mean your money is growing and staying stable. It grows and locks. It grows and locks. That's what it means by your money indexing. Your money is not dropping down like in a stock market. When the stock market is bad, it drops. It grows, it just keeps growing and stays there. No matter how bad the stock market is, like most investment accounts are in, it stays there. It cannot goes down. So that's the difference between index, universal life, and the other type of life insurance and the compound interest it gives to you too.
Okay, two more questions, and okay, three. Then we'll conclude with that.
Hey, here's a question for you. I just want to know, like, what stocks, ETFs, or bonds would you recommend, like, investing in for the upcoming year? And then, as far as investing apps, what, like, would you recommend using? Because I use like Robinhood, Vanguard, like all those good things, but like, I don't know if I'm using the right things exactly.
So, rapidly answer you, don't put your money in the stock market. If you have extra money, put it there. Put it first where it's not going like this, like the EKG machine. Put your money first where it's stable, you know you're not losing something. Then when you have extra, you could gamble in the stock market. I call that gambling.
I guess this is more advice to everybody in college. I would definitely recommend having a savings account, but also having a high yield savings account. Does everyone know what that means? Okay. Yeah, it was just more of a comment, but yeah. Oh. Yeah, basically like your savings account, depending on how your bank is, it's just sitting there, you put money in, but it depends on your bank. Yeah. But a high yield, like the interest rate and everything like increases every time you put money in. So like at the end of the day, honestly, in my opinion, I would, if you're gonna put in money in your high yield rather than your actual savings because it accrues.
Yeah, always put your money where you're getting something out of it. Because at the end of the day, the bank uses your money to make money. When you put your money in the bank will take it and invest it somewhere to make money for themselves. So why don't you want to go to the bank, be your own bank? There's accounts, you could go put your money where the banks put your money. You could do that if you have the information. So it's just good to be financially educated.
This is more like a suggestion. I feel like you guys, our mentors, should like open a platform for us, Jesus says, whereby we can be having like Zoom meetings where you teach us on money management and investments and like providing us sources on how to invest. I think that's gonna help us a lot because we can have this meeting right now and then we leave, we might forget. So
No, we're not forgetting. I'm taking
no,
your
I'm not,
number.
I'm
I'm taking your number. Your number. You're not going away.
No.
We're gonna keep it moving.
What I'm saying is that it's really gonna be helpful if we have mentors like you meeting with us like Saturdays or any day of the week on Zoom, just to like educate us and like teach us on how to manage money and how to invest.
Yeah, we're going to talk to our yayas, our parents. They'll look into that.
Yes. So I think my question was originally, how do we in our position as youth gain financial literacy? Because I feel like most of us have African parents, and African parents don't really teach you how to be financially stable. They don't teach you things about finances. The only financial lesson that they taught me is if I get birthday money, they asked me to hold it. I'll never see that money again. So I asked her, you guys hear me? Her idea of you guys opening up a platform for people to come and gain that knowledge would be a good way to answer my question.
Yeah, before we take the last question, this is why we wanted to do these panels, right? So that we are able to broach these topics, learning from what the youth need to know. What are the different areas that we can help each other, whether it's education, whether it's figuring out how to be financially stable, whatever that means. So all these ideas, we will collect them and add it to what it is that we need to push for. We say many of us come from African backgrounds, and these kind of things may be iffy for parents, but these are things that we want to push for, so that living in the States, we have stable life, and why not be wealthy, right? But yeah, we'll take our last question, then we'll close.
So actually, it's not really a question. It's just she really against the bank. I know the first thing is to know your financial profile. So I will say it in French. Premièrement, tu dois d'abord avoir 3 ou 6 mois de savings. Once you've done that, after that, you can look for any placement you want. You can use the stock market, you can use the forex and everything you want. It just depends on the risks you can take and what you can manage. And you need also to apply for a life insurance. So you have something maybe to do a leverage when you want to get something, maybe a house. I think. Okay, you want to say something? Okay, yes, so the first thing is to know your financial profile. And then after that, you will be good. And also the knowledge. Some people are good with the stock market, some people are good with the forex, so it just depends on what you want.
All right, here's what we will do. We have 2 minutes to close out. But I'll let you guys say final words, 30 seconds each, no extra time. Then after that, if you guys any topics that you want us to broach, and as we plan to go into the new year, as you mentioned, we can always create a platform for us to come together and learn about these different things. So if you have any topics, if we have a paper and pen, we will pass it around. Everybody will add it. Write name your branch, and you will add the topics that you want to be focused on in the future as we move into the new year. 30 seconds each.
I will conclude by saying this. Keeping money, make it grow is good and okay? But turning your money is much better. as a JCC, because we have to stay in Christian principles, when you go to JCC, even after the preachings, you can get an idea of what to do as a business, okay? I think we have the biggest youth network in the world, JCC. We are bigger than American JCC. Let's say if I take this T-shirt, I sell it here, and I send it to Congo, just JCC. Do you know how much money she'll make? She's gonna make a lot of money than putting the money she used to print this T-shirt in the stock market. I'm not against the stock market or investment or insurance, but also think of turning the money you have. Take the risk to become a millionaire, okay? That's all.
Amen. And why not become a billionaire? Did you have anything to add? Last words?
Since we're speaking about finances, investments, I think it's really important. The Bible does teach about this. There is a verse, Mama Tabita, I don't know if you know that verse, is invest in 7 or 8 places. The Bible teaches us that, so it is important to have money in different places because you do not know what's going to happen tomorrow. But the Bible also teaches us, there's a parable about a man. He made a lot of money, he made a lot of wealth from farming, and he told himself, I'm happy now because I worked hard for my money, I can enjoy it, I'm going to store it for myself. And what ended up happening is that he died the next day. Yeah. And so it's very important that while we're thinking about money, we are Christians, we're called to help other people. So it's very important to understand that what you're doing, the discipline, all the fruits that are going to show from your finances, it's supposed to help other people, not just yourself. So that's all I wanted to say.
My conclusion is we have to think about the future. And to think about the future means that to make right decisions right now. I encourage you, as Mama said, please do a business. Don't neglect it. Have a fun business you do. That will go with you a long way. You can get fired tomorrow. You can lose your job tomorrow. You could lose anything. Working for people is not guaranteed. It's not. You could be the best, you train the best workers, all of that. But when they're done with you, they'll kick you out. You're going to start looking for new jobs. But if you have your own business, you wake up every morning, work 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. They don't appreciate you sometimes. At the end of the year, they give you $100 bonus, or they don't even give you nothing. Why don't you want to do something for your own when you have your 1099 tax ID, when you could file how you want, say what you want, make money out of taxes, out of paying because you made a lot of money and you're single with no kids? We have to think wisely, guys. We have to go where you are appreciated, do what you are appreciated. Thank you.
Oh, as much as I love business, I don't understand anything about business. But yeah, I agree with everything that was said about business. But one of my final words, as I was here to speak about mental health, I would just say we should normalize thinking about mental health as physical health. While praying is a necessity, it's really needed. But also let's remember that God used people like doctors, counselors, a community to bring healing. So we should not neglect mental health. Yep. What I can say as a college student is that there's a lot of opportunity in college. They have a lot of organizations. So what I would say is take that chance, take that step. Like, I know you can be introvert, whatever, but take yourself out of the comfort zone, because in the real world, nobody's gonna try to make you comfortable. You have to adjust. What I would just say is that join organization that you know is for the glory of God. That you know that, hey, this is a chance for me to like talk to people about my beliefs and then, like what like it can impact. So what I would just say is don't lock yourself in your room. Don't just be like, oh, I don't want to make friends. I don't want to do this. Go out there and explore, because you never know, the next person you meet can be that person who God sent to bless you, or the next person you meet can be that person who will walk alongside you to help other people. So that's all I just have to say. One thing I would just add about college, I remember me stepping out of my comfort zone freshman year, the second semester. I was almost kicked out of school because financial issues. And then I stepped out of my comfort zone, went to talk to my financial advisor. And from that time until I finished my master's, I didn't have to worry about financial anymore because there was grant scholarship. I'll say in my 4 year of college, university, I paid like my first semester, my freshman year. After that, of course, yeah, I got loans, but after that, majority of the time was just scholarships. Like I'll talk to professors, they'll be like, oh yeah, the department. I got scholarship from departments that I wasn't even a student for. I was working for an engineering building, but I was there doing biology. They pay for me math. So it's like step out there, but also remember to be wise. You can go ask for money, but that's when it's also tricky because not everybody out there wants the good for you. And then senior year, I started managing the school basketball team. They pay for my school. For my master's, I didn't apply even to be a student assistant. They came to look for me. I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to teach. They were like, yeah. As soon as they say they're going to pay for your school, I was like, say less. So it's like step out of your comfort zone. A lot of opportunity will come. Pray about it. And if you don't feel like doing it, you don't have to do it. But just be careful. I just want to add one more thing. In the Bible it says, maudit soit l'homme qui se confie à l'homme, et béni soit l'homme qui se confie à l'Éternel. Saying that is, not every person that comes to you has good intention. That's where discernment comes. So it's like you following the law of God, like in the Bible, is you need to have discernment and wisdom to know, like, if that person approach you with certain intention, you need to know if it's for God's purpose or they're doing it to destroy you. So
Well, the last thing I will say to complete what I said is just the purpose of organizing these type of sessions is for us to learn from each other, but also to give the younger ones opportunity to see what their elders are doing, right? To just give you, some kind of reference so that you can come or go to them and ask any kind of questions. How to navigate, higher education, college, the job market. You're trying to put together your resume. You're trying, so anything really that you need, you can come to any of the panelists here. You can get our numbers. I mean, if you identify someone, even through their testimonies, that's why we have testimonies. It's not just for the spiritual aspect of things. It's also for you to identify who's doing what you want to do, who's in your field, who has done what you're doing right now, so that you don't have to struggle. Someone else has already struggled. They have the experience. They can advise you on certain things, right? So this is really us trying to build ourselves, because we know that most of our parents came from Africa. They don't know the system. They never went to school here, so they cannot really advise you on how to go about taking your classes or how to go about externships or internships or looking for a job, or just motivating you to not withdraw from classes or just, leave school, right? So this is really that place. Those are the people that are here for you. You can ask any questions. You can ask for their cell numbers, like LinkedIn or whatever, so that you can stay in touch. I'm pretty sure everybody here is eager to help in any way, shape, or form so that you can be the best. It's not just we don't want you to know God, but we also want you to succeed outside of church. Amen. So we are here for you if you need help with anything. Building your resume, you need to prepare for interviews because a lot of people don't know how to interview. So how do I prepare for an interview? How do I show up to an interview? That is very important as well. And we are here for that. We went through that. I went through 1,000 interviews, right? So I know what I should or should not do. I know how to present myself. So we are here for that. If you need anything, you can ask us for our contact later on. We're happy to help.
Sorry, guys. I'm sitting here and something just keeps ringing in my ears. My sister Naomi next to me. I have a background in mental health. I work in a drug program too. And before we brushed off the subject about mental health, she said something about hobbies, like discover your hobbies, good hobbies, and do it. That's very important because I worked for 16 years listening to people's problems, people going through addiction, and the main reason they tell me they started picking up drugs and alcohol and all of that, they were bored. Some were bored, some have trauma in their family, they don't feel like speaking to their parent, they keep it into themselves. And I was really hurt when I heard that my sister was going through it, but it was for the glory of God, because if she had opened up, I know in my own way, in my experience, I would have helped her. But please don't stay quiet, speak up. Speak to somebody. There was a time in my life I went to, I would say, stage 1 depression. I will work, and this is how it manifests. When you're around people, you're normal. Like, you laugh, you do your activities normally. I'll go to work like everybody. I'm the social butterfly. But when I go home, because I live alone, I close my door in the dark. I'm just sitting there in my head. I went through that for like 6 months, 7 months. But I was telling myself, I spent all day advising people on what to do, giving suggestions people on what to do, when to get out of mental health, mental problems. But I can't apply it for myself. So I had to snap out of it. How did I snap out of it? I started doing things I love to do. The kind of movies I like to watch. When I come back, instead of staying in the dark, I start watching movies. I like to go out and watch. I'll go to the movies. So I'll get up after work. Instead of staying home, I'll go to the movies. So do something you like to do when you start feeling like that. When you don't isolate yourself. Speak up. Do what you like to do. That's all I wanted to add, guys.
Wow. I wish we had more time, but we don't. We have to go get ready for. You have a question? Just a comment? And y'all keep pushing my time. It's already 3 p.m. You got 30 seconds, bro.
Yeah, so this just came to my mind right now, and I think this is very important, and it's mostly very much not mentioned when it comes to meetings like this, is being stay out of trouble. Like, I'm saying this because when the sister was speaking about scholarships and things like that, I have a friend who is not able to do anything right now because of his background. And I think it's very important to mention, especially in the GCC, in just any youth, gathering, because anything that they just spoke about, like insurance, everything like that, most of the time they run your background check. They check who you are, what you've done, and things like that. So really staying out of trouble is something very, very important. Like when it comes to scholarships, anything really. And I know this resonates a lot with me because that was a good friend of mine that, he's still a good friend of mine, but seeing what he's going through right now because of everything that he's done, Like it's just like I just wanted to mention that because I don't know if that was mentioned before, but I think it's very important to mention, and just saying that because I don't know if it's mostly spoken about in general, so I just wanted to mention that just so I did that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, staying out of trouble is key. Making sure you know the right thing. I mean, that's why we use the Bible as the center of all that we do. The Bible will tell you what to do, what not to do, and the Bible says that he who knows the right thing to do and does not do it is sinned, right? So, who enjoyed this session? Right. So I like the idea that we should create a platform for more sessions like this. So we will push for that as we go into the next year, and keep that in your prayers, and hopefully we get the green light for that because we cannot do anything unless it's agreed upon. But yeah, can we put our hands together for this panelists? And can you put your hands together for yourself? So I hope you learn a bunch of things. Get in contact with, everyone here. If you want to ask any more questions, get in contact with yourself so that you guys begin to create this unity, this bond that we want to build. But we can just bow our heads and then we will close out in prayer. Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for such a time as this that you've allowed us to come together. We spoke about mental health. We spoke about higher educations. We spoke about finances, businesses. We spoke about a variety of things. Father God, as we conclude this moment of panel, Father God, we pray that you will help us to remember all these things and apply them into the various aspects of our life. As we continue to move ahead, Father God, we pray that you will make it possible for us to create platforms that will help us talk about these topics and any other topics so that we will be literate in every area of our life and we will become who you've called us to be on this earth in the name of Jesus. Father God, we commit the rest of this day into your heavenly hands, our preparation for the gala night into your hand. We pray that your spirit will continue to abide with us. You will continue to give us peace, wisdom, knowledge, and deliverance from darkness as we continue to seek to walk in your original plan for our life. It is in your mighty, majestic, and matchless name that we have prayed. And the sons of God will say, Amen. God bless you. Say hi to someone you don't know. Make sure you greet someone you do not know. Make sure you greet someone you don't know.
Mary, did you know your baby boy would one day walk on water? Mary, did you know your baby boy would save our sons and daughters. Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? This child that you